The company that you spent more than a decade building, LinkedIn, selling to Microsoft for $26 billion. This surprised almost everybody in Silicon Valley, which is quite a feat in an industry where everybody talks. So curious from your side, how did this play out? How did this happen?
So it's always been in the first month after we launched LinkedIn, when I was talking with my co-founders, we said, well, what would be the dream thing, right? This is 2003. Yeah. And we said integration in Outlook. It was like, that would be the thing, because to be where people are working, where they're actually connecting with people, where they're communicating with people. And it's always been our intent to get more towards the daily work practice. I mean, we do a lot of things on news and information. We do things on finding experts, finding partners, finding jobs, all that stuff. But we wanted to get there. And, you know, these were very considered, very thoughtful conversations. You've got Microsoft, which is the world leader in kind of institutional productivity, has a deep tech stack across a wide variety of range, some of which would be really useful to us. I mean, imagine like for example, an artificial intelligence career assistant says, oh, you should be looking at these skills, you should learn this, you should look at this. That'd be really useful. We don't have the cycles to build that. Microsoft has great AI technology. Similarly, Microsoft kind of says, well, actually, in fact, what should our internet play be? How should we go direct to individuals? How should we help individuals be productive, not just in their day, but also in their whole career? Well, that's LinkedIn, and so that's why you have this very natural synergy between these two companies.
This must have been emotional for you, though. I mean, this is your baby,
yes,
and you've been building it for so long. And I wonder, what was it like emotionally to make that decision and let go in a way?
Well, the fortunate thing for me is I have always let go for the mission, right? It's the mission is what matters. So that's the reason I've hired CEOs rather than being the CEO. That's the reason why, what I learned is actually, in fact, the CEOs you want are co-founders like Jeff, right? Those are the things that you want. And so for me, it's always been in service to the mission. And so this is just another thing in service to the mission. So of course, it's a big change. The kid's going off to college, right? It's a big deal, but the mission is what matters. Is how do you make every individual more connected in order to be successful and productive? That's what matters. Everything else secondary.
$26 billion, the second biggest tech deal in history. Still, less than what LinkedIn was trading at 6 months before. Did you worry that LinkedIn was vulnerable?
I think it was slightly more than we were trading at in January, but doesn't matter.
6 months before the stock dropped.
Oh,
right?
Yes, got it. Look, there's always some vulnerability that you chart strategy both by upside and downside. So you pay attention to downsides. But we do, and we're going to continue it because we're going to actually function as a subsidiary. We have a bunch of plans on what we're going to do. We're still going to do those plans. So it's not. It's much more of the question of, when I look at how do you grow LinkedIn, how do you make it more impactful in individuals' lives, it's what we can accomplish that's much more of the thing. But it wasn't that you chart downsides and strategies too.
Do you see a spate of tech M&A happening in the aftermath of this, whether or not it's because of this? Do you see more of that in the pipeline?
I think that it's likely that some folks will make similar decisions to us, because when you're mission driven and you say, okay, what's the best way I can accomplish my mission? And if that's, I align with these other assets that are really good, I align with his other, business models that therefore I can amplify those and then also amplify the thing that I'm doing on my mission. When you get those things, then I think M&A becomes much more natural. And it isn't, mission folks don't go, oh, IPO is what makes me important. It's the mission that makes me important. So I do think you will see more.